Hi, everybody. This is Rat and Frog Dissections. We are Ava, Lena, Victoria, Judah, and Tamara. We'll be alternating between anatomy of these two animals and comparing them at the end.
So the intro for the rat is our mammal dissection. We did a rat. Some of the characteristics of mammal are hair for warm-blooded and has mammary glands and a diaphragm.
So the intro to frogs, we also dissected a frog, and they are considered amphibians. And some of their characteristics are they have smooth and slimy skin, they're cold-blooded, and they're vertebrates.
As we know more about rats, rats are in the Animalia kingdom, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Rodentia, family Muridae, genus rat, and species rat.
More specifically, the frog is a grass frog. So this is the phylogenetic breakdown of that. The scientific name would be the last two, the genus and the species. So this was a Rana ferreri.
The ecological habitats of rats, they have been known to inhabit every type of natural habitat. They live most exclusively in areas of human habitation. Rats can live in ports, wetlands, dumps, sewers, and more.
The ecological habitat of frogs, they mostly inhabit land and freshwater habitats because they need to be around moisture and a body of water. They can be found near ponds, riverbanks, and along the edges of swamps.
As we look at the food chain and ecosystem of rats, we have found that rats are seen near the bottom of the food chain, not near the top at all. Rats often attack and eat smaller animals such as mice, small birds, and insects. Rats also live in the wilderness such as forests and woods.
When we look at the food chain of frogs, they serve as an important role as both predators and prey. As predators, they consume algae when they're tadpoles, and during their adult life, they consume small organisms such as insects, snails, spiders. They are also a food source for birds, fish, and snakes.
The mating behavior of rats includes females usually populate with several males over their lifetime. Female rats are able to mate for as many as 500 times within a year. And for their behavior, they usually show aggressive behavior when they are threatened.
As for the mating of frogs, females usually populate with several other males over their lifetime, and typically if they end up mating again, it would unlikely be with the same male. As mentioned, it's several other males. And the male frogs fight during mating season to end up mating with a female.
As we look at the digestive system of rats, we can see that they have a liver, a small and large intestine, pancreas, gallbladder, mouth, esophagus, and stomach. All of these can be seen from the pictures listed on the slides.
And for the frogs during our dissection here are found the labels for liver, small and large intestines, pancreas, gallbladder, mouth, esophagus, and stomach.
The excretory and reproductive systems of rats include kidneys, uterus, urinary bladder, urethra, and our specific rat was a female rat, so they had ovaries, fallopian tubes, uterus, cervix, and vagina. And then if we had a male, it would be testes, difference, prostate, epididymitis, penis, and scrotum. And we have the female reproductive organs on the screen.
For the excretory system and reproductive system of frogs, they have kidneys, a uterus, urinary bladder, and a cloaca. Their reproductive organs are fairly simple for both male and female. The males only have testes, vastia inferentia, and a urogenital duct, and females have a pair of ovaries, oviducts, and ovisacs, which the ovaries can be seen in the picture above, and so as the kidney.
In the respiratory system of rats, the thoracic cavity of a rat is located near the back of the rat. Inside the thoracic cavity of a rat, you can find a diaphragm, a heart, atria, ventricles, pericardium, thymus gland, bronchial tubes, lungs. Airflow in and goes through the pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli. As we can see from the images on the slide, we have the lungs, diaphragm, and also the heart.
For the respiratory system in frogs, they use 3 different types of respiration. They use cutaneous, which is through their skin, which is mainly used when they're underwater. Buccal, which is through their mouth, nasal cavity, and buccal cavity. And then pulmonary, which is their respiratory tract, bucopharyngeal cavity, pharynx, glottis, laryngeal tracheal chamber, bronchi, lungs, and alveoli, which the lungs, the mouth, and their skin can be shown in the pictures shown.
The circulatory system of rats is a closed circulatory system, and it is very similar to humans. The heart of the rat is located in the thoracic cavity. It is more specifically found in the central of the thoracic cavity. The attributes of a rat heart include atria, ventricle, pericardium, and blood flows through this diagram we have on the right.
In frogs, the circulatory system is a little different. There's only one ventricle in the heart, as you can see in the photo, but it does have 2 atriums, a right and a left atrium. The arteries and veins throughout the body are very similar to mammals like the rat. The last part would be a circulatory system contains the spleen, which takes out debris from the bloodstream, so it's not clogging up the body.
In the nervous system of rats, we find the brain, spinal cord, spinal nerves, cranial nerves, axial and appendicular skeletons, joints, ligaments, tendons, skeletal muscles, which include functions in order to move bones around for movement, smooth muscles, which play many different roles in the circulatory and digestive system. We also have cardiac muscles found in the heart responsible for a contraction of the heart. As we can see from the images in the slides, we have the brain, which is labeled, and we also have the spinal cord of a rat through dissection.
For the nervous system of the frogs, made of the same thing. In the image, you can see it's a dog brain, but the dog and rat brains are very similar, has the same parts, brain, nerves, spinal cord, spinal nerves, and then same breakdown of central and peripheral nervous systems and the different muscle types that we talked about on the previous slide. The biggest difference is going to be with hearing. The eardrums are exposed on the outside of the frog, as opposed to in mammals, they're inside an ear.
For a conclusion, in conclusion, although rats and frogs are different animals, they have some similarities as found through their taxonomy tree and through their dissection that we have experienced in this class. Through this comparison, we can see that mammals and amphibians do have similar structures, meaning that they have a common ancestor. As we have seen, both rats and frogs are in the phylum Chordata with the ancestor Animalia. Through their dissection, we can see that many of the body's functions, such as the nervous system, is made up of the brain, spinal cord, spinal nerves, and even the cranial nerves. what we have come across is that rats and frogs do have quite in common, even though they come from separate species.
And here are our references and resources for what we use for both animals. Thanks for watching.